Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Modern Customer Podcast. I am your host, Blake Morgan, and I love the outdoors. I love being outside. I love being in nature, and I find it extremely restorative. That being said, it is so important that we begin to innovate ourselves out of a situation that, to me, looks very pressing, that we need to start to think about sustainability and conservation for future generations. And here to talk with me about this important issue is Lisa Diekmann, President and CEO of Yellowstone Forever. She joined the company in August of 2020, and today we're talking about Yellowstone Forever's new inheritance pass that ensures that future generations are able to experience a healthy, thriving Yellowstone National Park in 2172. Today, we're talking about Lisa's career and what parks can do to focus on sustainability and conservation, and even how businesses can get involved to help in the movement. We're recording this in April of 2022. It is Earth Month, and I'm so excited to bring you Lisa's thoughts on this important topic. Lisa began her career with Goldman Sachs. She's worked at the UN. She lives in Montana since 1996 to become the founding executive director of the Yellowstone Park Foundation. She left the Yellowstone Park Foundation in 2007 to join the Wilderness Society. She is the recent past board chair of the Mountain Journal. She received her BA from Yale and her master's degree from the Yale School of Forestry and Environmental Studies. This is a topic everybody should be thinking about, and I know you'll enjoy our conversation. All right, Lisa, welcome to the Modern Customer Podcast. I'm so excited to have you here because I've never had somebody like you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So we have a lot to talk about today, but I want to start with just your story. You have a really interesting and unique career background. How did you get to be in this position at Yellowstone?
Well, I have always loved the national parks. I did grow up in Spokane, Washington. Went back east to college and never been east of the Mississippi or South Dakota for that matter. And went straight from Yale to Wall Street. Worked on Wall Street for 3 years and really loved that experience, but realized that while I loved working for an investment bank, my true passion was conservation. So I returned to Yale to get my degree from the Yale School of Forestry and Environmental Studies, which is now the Yale School of the Environment, and worked on a project about wolves and the restoration of wolves in Yellowstone, and then worked on a film about wolves for ABC World of Discovery. I was a grunt on the project and doing research, but it was an amazing experience in Idaho. And shortly thereafter, I received the opportunity to become the first executive director of the Yellowstone Park Foundation in 1996. So I worked for the Yellowstone Park Foundation from 1996 to 2007. And then my husband and I took the boys north in our truck to Alaska and the Yukon and spent the summer there with no technology, returned and worked for the Wilderness Society and another nonprofit here in Bozeman, Montana, which is where I live, and returned to run Yellowstone Forever, which is the merger of Yellowstone Park Foundation and Yellowstone Association, about 19 months ago. And it is a gift and to be able to work again for Yellowstone.
National parks in the last 2 years have seen a huge uptick from what I hear because people could not travel and they were getting in their cars and buying RVs and going to national parks in a way that maybe they hadn't until recently. Did you see that firsthand?
Oh, we did. Yes. At Yellowstone, the last year, Yellowstone recorded the all-time high of visits to the park of over 4.8 million. And
Wow.
so that is a significant increase from even 10 years ago. When I first started working in Yellowstone in 1996, visitation was hovering in the high 2 millions, not 4.8 million. So, and for many people, it is a bucket list trip. Uh, we're fortunate in working for Yellowstone that we can be there every day and multiple times every year. But for many people, it's a once in a lifetime experience, and I think that's what we saw in the last couple of years, is people getting on the road and doing that thing that they've been meaning to do their entire lives.
Would you paint the picture of what people would expect to see if they went to the park?
Well, it is Yellowstone is 2.1 million acre. It is a place of superlatives. You cannot go wrong with a visit to Yellowstone. So you have an invitation, and you have my number, and our website. I am sure you will share with your listeners. But there are more geysers and hot springs in Yellowstone than the rest of the world combined. The
Wow.
largest high alpine lake in North America, over 400 species of animals, the charismatic megafauna. The Lamar Valley of Yellowstone is a place that people go to specifically see wildlife. And it has been called the American Serengeti. So you can see bison, elk, moose, wolves, bears. I have never seen a mountain lion in 26 years, but there are uh, several dozen mountain lions in Yellowstone, wolverines. Uh, and then there's the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, the Yellowstone upper falls and lower falls of Yellowstone. And it is at that place that the painting by Thomas Moran was created. And that is what led, many say, to the establishment of Yellowstone, the world's first national park. 1,100 miles of trails and boardwalks, uh, just about anything that you could imagine is there in Yellowstone in a natural setting.
It sounds absolutely incredible. And a lot of our listeners and viewers, they are business people. They probably haven't been out as much because so many of us are homebound now. How important is it for people to get away from technology, turn off the phone, and opt outside?
I think it for me, when I have been behind my desk for days at a time, just getting that fix of nature. Um, as I mentioned earlier, my husband and I took our kids out of technology for 3 months one summer, and they still talk about it to this day. It is a place to, I think, reconnect. Uh, the stars in Yellowstone that you can see, the most remote place in the lower 48, away from roads and cell phone towers, is in Yellowstone. I think that it is a place that we can. Nature is a great equalizer, and it is a place that is public and available to all of us to enjoy and to reset.
Mm-hmm.
And that
It
is a
sounds
lot of the work
amazing.
that we do. Yeah.
So let's talk about Yellowstone Forever. What is it, and how can our listeners and viewers get involved if they're interested?
Yellowstone Forever is the official nonprofit partner of Yellowstone National Park. Our mission is to protect, preserve, and enhance Yellowstone through education and philanthropy. People can get involved by supporting park projects, uh, coming to Yellowstone, experience it, learning about it, taking that home, and sharing with others. And We also run all of the Park Visitor Center stores. So there's opportunities to get educational material there and more information about Yellowstone when you're in the park. So that's a little nutshell of what we do.
And now you have a new product, I would call it, that you're selling, which is and I'll let you tell our viewers and listeners what it is, but could you talk about what it is and how people can buy it?
Yes. In commemoration of Yellowstone's 150th anniversary, we have launched the Inheritance Pass, which is our way of commemorating the world's first national park, the 150th anniversary. You can donate now to Yellowstone for the future, protect Yellowstone's ecosystem and wildlife, preserve the heritage, the history, the trails, and enhance the visitor experience and education. By donating now, $1,500, you also receive a park pass this year and a park pass for the future. The Inheritance Pass is a legacy that you can pass on down to future generations so that they can enjoy Yellowstone as we do now. So it's really, I think, a gift that will last in perpetuity.
So this week, it's April 20th as we're recording this, and April 22nd is Earth Day. It's basically Earth Month. Can you talk about how business people and businesses can get involved? Because their employees and their customers care about sustainability and conservation. Can you talk about how businesses and business people can enjoy the parks, get involved, give back, and really help conserve the national parks?
Yes, there's many ways to get involved. One element of our mission is to raise money to support park projects that are above and beyond the basics, and that includes sustainability in Yellowstone. The world's first national park is an example throughout the world for other national parks. And what we are doing for the 150th is setting a goal of raising $2.5 million for Yellowstone Here Forever. That is sustainability, here forever. And if it doesn't start in Yellowstone, where else will it start? So we're doing things like funding low flow faucets in buildings. You can have faucets, but that margin of excellence is the low flow faucets. Electricity, energy savings, replacing replacing old incandescent light bulbs with LED light bulbs. Huge energy savings. So water saving, energy saving, waste management, and smart buildings. Those are some of the things that we're funding. There are efforts in the park to convert to hybrid and electric vehicles and EV charging stations. So the idea of the Here Forever Fund is that corporations, individuals, and foundations as well can support the future of Yellowstone through sustainability to make sure that Yellowstone is a place where resource conservation happens and benefits the park for the future. We have a number of corporations who already support the sustainability initiative. ConocoPhillips, Toyota Motor Sales, Fortune Brands, just to name a few. Anderson Windows has donated windows that are energy efficient windows for buildings. Some of the buildings in Yellowstone are over 100 years old. But if you've got windows that have cracks in them around the edges, that's going to really increase the energy usage. And Canon has supported many of our wildlife projects, which brings Yellowstone to life for people if they're never able to visit, or maybe after they leave and they want to return and see some of the beauty of Yellowstone through the eyes of Canon.
Lisa, we're very much interested here on this podcast about the experience economy, that people realize that experiences matter more than material things. And research from Cornell University by Dr. Thomas Gilovich supports the fact that actually if you invest in experiences, over time your satisfaction goes up. If you buy material goods, over time your satisfaction goes down because material goods lose their luster, and experiences, you savor that memory and it really just builds in your mind as time goes on and it passes. So that brings me to you running this national park foundation. Can you talk about this trend of the experience economy and what types of things people go to your park to experience in all forms?
Yes. One of the things that we talk a lot about is our organization as a nonprofit working on behalf of Yellowstone. Roots go back to 1932 with the founding of the Yellowstone Museum and Library Association education is a big part of our mission, and that's experiential learning, constructive learning. So we want to honor the past with that in-park experience, but also know that not everybody wants to maybe participate in one of our 3 or 4 day field seminars, which are focused on everything from wildlife to geology to lake ecosystems, private guided tours, um, youth education, lodging and learning. You can stay in the hotel, go out with us during the day. Other people want to really have a experience on their own. So we provide educational experiences so they can uh, do self-guided trips. And then we also have started offering virtual field seminars, and you'll be seeing more of that over time. But honoring the past of experiences, but then really looking to the trends of the future, that what is it that people want when they come to experience a national park, and many people on their own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what are, I mean, are there like now you can't not hear about glamping, and I mean people are just getting really creative with being in the great outdoors and enjoying it in the way that they're comfortable with. I personally, I'm not a camper. I went camping once in college, and that for once was enough for me. I don't, but I mean, it seems like these days there's something for everybody, and you can enjoy it in the way that you want to.
Exactly. And I am proud to say that we offer such a variety of experiences that work for so many people. So for the folks that are more lean more toward glamping, the lodging and learning programs, you can stay at one of the beautiful hotels in Yellowstone, the historic Mammoth Hotel, Lake Hotel, Old Faithful, right next to Old Faithful Geyser, and then go out and experience Yellowstone. So we have um, programs that cater to people who are really more interested in the hiking, but you go back and you have a nice hot shower, or family. We have great programs that involve kids with the Junior Ranger program. That is one way. And then if you want to be a little bit more rustic, you go on the private guided tour while you're camping out in one of Yellowstone's campgrounds, which is kind of fun too. So we kind of offer it all. And what we really believe is that when you experience something, when you experience a place like Yellowstone with the official nonprofit partner of Yellowstone National Park or on your own, that is something that is a memory that will last a life.
Mm-hmm.
We get letters from people talking about, hey, I was there when I was 8, and now I'm taking my kids, and they're the same age I was when I visited Yellowstone for the first time and the last time that I've since I was there. So I really think it's that the variety and being open to making programs available for people of all backgrounds that they feel comfortable in visiting
Mm-hmm.
Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm. Sounds amazing. And it just sounds like a whole world of wonder. And I'm so glad that you're doing the good work to conserve and raise money for um, such an important piece of America. I want to switch gears and talk about you and do a little rapid fire questions, which really have nothing to do with customer experience or Yellowstone. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, the first question is if you could have lunch with anybody dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh my. That's a challenging question. I'm not very good at rapid fire, I guess. But I would have to say that I would love to have lunch with Thomas Moran, because he is the one who painted that beautiful picture of Yellowstone Falls. And I would like to hear what it was like in Yellowstone 152 years ago when he painted that painting.
That's a good one. Okay, what is your most embarrassing work moment?
Oh, in Yellowstone, usually I wear 2 shirts. You can see I have the undershirt and then my nice fleece because Yellowstone can get kind of cool. And it got warm one day. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take my shirt off. And I didn't have an undershirt underneath. But luckily
Oh, whoops.
I was wearing it. I only got it halfway up. But yes,
Okay.
I was very
That's not
embarrassed.
too bad.
And I did have a bra on. So it wouldn't have been the end of the
Oh,
world.
good.
But it was startling.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Um, what is the best music or band of all time?
Oh. I'm a pretty big fan of John Fogerty.
Okay. If you had $1 billion, what would you do with it first?
Oh, billion with a B?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'd probably give a lot of it to Yellowstone and libraries. I love libraries. I can't imagine what could I do with $1 billion. I don't need it, but I would be very thoughtful about and
Mm-hmm.
intentional about my commitment and would want it to have an impact. And yes, I am biased because I work for Yellowstone Forever, but I truly believe that a gift to Yellowstone is a gift that will last in perpetuity. And it makes me feel good to know that the work that we're doing is going to benefit future generations.
Absolutely. And what is one tool that you've used for self-development or growth during COVID?
We work with an amazing company called Future Sync International that has really helped us look at our culture as an organization and to I believe that we are really solid financially. We give millions of dollars to Yellowstone every year. That's our mission, but we can't uh, perform and raise those financial resources without good human resources. So, really looking at who we are as an organization and that employee satisfaction uh, will lead to better work on behalf of Yellowstone. So, that's where we've been putting our intention this during the COVID.
All right, Lisa. Well, it's been such a pleasure interviewing you. If our listeners want to get involved and help Yellowstone, where can they do that?
Our website is very simple. It's www.yellowstone.org. And my email address is on there. So I'm always happy to hear from people and check out our website. Purchase an inheritance pass. You'll be doing good for Yellowstone now and for the future, and you get a pass to visit Yellowstone this year.
All right, Lisa, thank you so much for being on The Modern Customer. All of you have been tuning in. Looking forward to continuing the conversation and visiting Yellowstone very, very soon.